How's it going, guys? Today is a very special episode. Today we have a special guest star appearance, Michael Arms, aka MGA. Welcome to the show, MGA. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm glad I am here.
So you are a prepper, a doomsday prepper, is that right?
I guess. In California, since I'm a doomsday prepper, but really I got enough to take care of my family for an extended length of time. I'm not the kind of guy that hides silver or I don't know, ammunition buried in the hills somewhere. I'm not that guy.
Maybe have a decent stockpile in case something went down.
Exactly.
Get your radio on your backpack.
Yeah, that's true. I am a ham radio operator. I do some ham radio operation, but that's just to get on the net in case the internet fails.
So what kind of inspired you to start preparing like that? How long have you been kind of putting your stockpile together?
I just went down this rabbit hole and started analyzing all these things about my life and where I live, and if anything happened, what would I do in order to survive it? And it just kind of spun into a whole lifestyle for me. I learned about obviously hunting and how to take from the land, how to properly store food, how to properly can. For lack of better words,
have you done any prepping for this lockdown in particular? Specifically? Yeah,
I did. Yes, I knew this was coming in a little bit of advance, so I had to recycle my food anyway. So I just refreshed a lot of the canned materials. I got new shelving, and the family can now survive off the food in the house for a little over 16 days, and we have enough canned food for another 30 days, and then we have enough dehydrated food for another 24 days. So
that's awesome, man.
If the supply chain goes out, we're completely taken care of.
Since the supply chain still is good, I'm guessing you're not digging into any of your stuff yet, right? You're still going to the store and still buying food like normal, or are you kind of being self-sufficient or not?
My experience was a lot like your experience. We went to the store to get food and our toilet paper, and it's really out of stock. So we had to lean on Safeway's golden times of when to go and get stuff, and also be creative. And like you probably saw, there's no bread. There's no bread anywhere. I'm learning how to make my own bread, which anyone can do with just sugar, flour, yeast, and a slow cooker. You can actually get this stuff done yourself. It just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of YouTube. Supply chain is not hurting right now because the whole nation is not on lockdown. But if that happens, you're going to start seeing panic buyers again, for sure.
A lot of panic buyers were getting water and obviously toilet paper. What do you think about those two things?
That's a good question. Toilet paper is kind of a luxury, to be honest. You can get away with washing your unmentionables in the shower or for the other means. There's lots of blood cultures out there that don't have the luxury of toilet paper, and they get by just fine and still have enough cleanliness.
I think the water's ridiculous because it's not like the plumbing system's ever going to stop, and we can drink from the tap.
Water's always smart to have. I will always say water's smart to have. I have over 270 gallons of water on standby. An adult drinks 3 liters a day. There's your math. I definitely recommend having pallets of water. I just don't like plastic. That's the only thing. I love the environment. Hate to have that much waste.
In context of food, so what would you say is the best thing to buy and the worst thing to buy if you're preparing for something like this?
The best thing you can buy, it sounds silly, but it's MREs. MREs are probably the best thing you can buy. They're about 1,500 calories in one bag. They come with everything you need. It's actually good. And I'm not like the crazy hill people who think it's good and say it's good, but it tastes like garbage. No, I went out on a camping trip recently. We had only that. I was so nervous about eating only MREs and hiking around all day. Delicious. It was absolutely delicious. So that's probably the best you can have. They're compact. You can throw them around anywhere. The worst thing you can buy, probably perishables, things that if you need a refrigerator for it to last, or has a shelf life of only a couple months. That's probably the worst thing to have.
See, I got a ton of Cliff bars and cereal, which will last a while. I just feel horrible all the time because that's all I'm eating, But I actually bought multivitamins because I knew I wasn't going to be having fruits and stuff and good food. So I'm just kind of counteract all the bad nutrition,
It's a really good point. Yeah. Those one-a-days, we have a whole bunch of one-a-days that the whole family's taking, and immunity boost. It's a little bit more than we need, but I would even go as far as like emergency, not just because it is a flu, but just because it has great vitamins in there. But if you don't have the ability to get one of those one-a-day multivitamins, emergency has some good stuff in there. It's not just vitamin C that's in there. It's also all the other great vitamins too. So.
Right. So you're a big meat guy. You like to grill a lot. Is that right?
I like meat, yeah. I mean, I really respect people who don't want to eat meat. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
But for me, I love meat, and I love anything that comes from the cow.
So right now, like we said, the stores are open. You can pretty much just buy whatever you want for the most part. You know what I mean? I can go to the store and probably get steak right now. So let's say things start shutting down. I mean, do you hunt, or is meat going to be off the menu for you for a while? How does that work?
So I got a pretty decent freezer full of meat. So spring turkey season is coming up next week.
Okay.
I'm thinking about going up to the hills and see if I can get a butterball. That's always the option, to kind of just go for the weekend and see if you can find a pig or whatever. But what's going to be difficult, what people don't understand, is like you can't just pick up a firearm or some archery kit and just go out there. It's a really big deal in California. You have to get certified, you have to have training, then you have to get your license, and then you have to get your tag. And this all takes time, and for an infrastructure that's pretty much shut down for non-medical. Good freaking luck trying to get that.
You mentioned your guns earlier. I know you're a big gun guy. I'm not trying to like stir up any fear here, but is there any if things start really going south, do you expect to be any kind of like looting or any kind of need to be defending your house at any point?
Daily, I think that's a possibility. I've had enough experiences in my life where I choose to protect my family through, I think, is appropriate means. But for right now, if you do not have a firearm, I'm not recommending going out and getting one. Especially in California right now, it's pretty much shut down as non-essential. So if you don't have one by now, good freaking luck. But also not knowing how to use one, you're really just opening yourself up for vulnerability. But yes, you should always find a means of self-defense if you're a level-headed individual. That's another thing. You have to look inward and say, am I kind of an individual who can responsibly wield a tool like this in the time of need? And if that answer is other than a quick yes, I think you need to reevaluate. It's not going to happen right now, but the supply chain stays as bad as it's going to be in a national disaster. And if this happens again in August, like they're predicting it May, I think that's when we're going to have a problem. So hopefully we can stem the tide and get some sort of vaccination rolling, so people can feel less afraid. I gotta say, I was at Safeway the other day, and there's people getting ready to put fist to face in the parking lot. Whoa. Because of a parking spot.
Whoa.
Yeah,
wow.
They were down. Yeah, they were down to clown just because of a parking spot.
Jeez. How long do you think this whole thing's going to last for?
I think the lockdown's going to go until about mid-April, and then services are going to come back online. And I think there's going to be a fire under the government's butt to get more kits out and to get more treatment out and really amplify efforts here.
Now, when all this was going down, I realized it would be harder to do than just staying at home playing video games. But I was like, Jesus, let's just go camping for 2 weeks, get away from everything,
That's a good idea. I would.
Yeah.
I mean, get outdoors, get some sun, which none of us are getting right now because we're doing VCs and stuff all day.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, no, I mean, if you just try to keep the groups limited of who you're with, if it's already your roommates like Mr. Mark or anything, go for it. Absolutely.
So MJ, is there any organizations you want to shout out that you think people should support that could really help everyone in this time?
I think the people who are leading the charge on this is the World Health Organization. If you can donate to them, I think every little bit helps. And right now, Facebook has a campaign where they're going to match up to $10 million. And last time I checked, it was just under 5. So spread the word, get the money out, and let's make Facebook put in some money to it and really help combat this nasty virus.
So I feel like when someone's called like a doomsday prepper, right, I feel like they kind of have like a connotation of being like overly concerned, maybe quick to get scared if things start going bad. But I feel like you're just someone who likes to be ready for stuff. And I mean, do you think it's right for people to be panicking out there right now?
I don't think so. See, I take my time to do the research and to really understand what I need to do instead of just buying it all real quick and then figuring it out later, which is what everyone's doing. So, and that doesn't help anyone. In fact, it just hurts a lot of people around who could also use a lot of that supply that you may not end up using. With proper understanding and education, you can do a lot for your family without having to buy a whole bunch of stuff and really just taking a hit to people who don't have the ability to prep. I think the panic buying is what's really going to hurt us in the long run. Keeps the grocery stores in business, but other than that, it's making people who can't fend for themselves, puts them in a very bad spot.
So are you on YouTube MGA? Are you doing anything out there?
I am on YouTube. I have my own channel. It's MGA. It's also called Cooking with MGA. I just put a bunch of silly stuff or things that I find hilarious and no one else does. And but yeah, check it out. It'd be great.
So you've been prepping with lots of food and water and maybe ammo, but I think I got you matched here, MGA, because I just downloaded Doom Eternal finally today, and that's definitely carrying me through all this.
Yes, that's awesome. Yeah, you got me there, man. I have not been playing any video games right now. You know what? I'm probably going to download pretty soon here. I'm going to download Red Dead Redemption 2 because I'm not going to bed until late anyway, and I need to disconnect from work. So I'll game with you. Check me out. MGA 1982 on PlayStation 4.
Well, MJ, even though we're far right now, what do you say to taking a shot?
What we drinking?
I've got my shot of tequila lined up right here. I know you're whiskey man, is that right?
Yeah, let me go get my JMO. Cheers, brother.
All right, cheers, man. Right on.
Ah.
Woo! Hell yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time, MGA. Great talking to you today. Glad you're taking care of your family.
Oh, thanks, man. I hope this helped, and you take care of yourself as well, and you let me know if you need anything.
Awesome. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.